This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, three friends on a dangerous adventure when curiosity leads a young boy to disaster.
Go get help, go!
My greatest fear was that he would die before his father got there.
It's just like the bottom fell out of my world.
Plus, a brave young woman takes a bullet in the head.
Can you see anything?
Oh my God!
911 emergency. She's been shot.
On Rescue 911.
We begin in the rural community of Salyer, California, as three 10-year-old boys set out on the morning of March 7th, 1992.
So what are we gonna do up there?
I think I'll throw something through the wall.
We gonna build fort?
Levi, Axton, and Joseph have been like the Three Musketeers, and the neighborhood is the forest.
Cool. Well, how are we gonna build it? How are we
We
gonna
could
build
chop
it?
off some of the wood.
Three 10-year-olds in the woods can have some great adventures, but not all adventures are good adventures.
Let's do it. Big old living room.
Axton Fieser and his two best friends had played before near an abandoned house in the woods.
I don't know, we'll have
All
fun.
the kids knew about it. It was not even done. It was like halfway done. We wanted to get in. There's only one door to the house, but the furniture blocked the door, so we couldn't get in. So we thought if we climb up the deck, we can get in the house.
We can't do it. We can't. I'll get the machine.
Levi Daly lived closest to the house.
Joy's messing around with the lizards. Axton got the machete, and then we started chopping on the poles.
The deck is up on stilts, so we thought if it collapsed, it would have us like slant so we could climb up. It won't be so steep.
Ten-year-old Joseph Oakes came over to help.
We'd take 3 chops each. The first pole took a long time.
One more chop, we can do it. Right here. X. Let's go to the other side. Yeah. Let Troy go last.
Yeah, I want to go last. I just had to get that piece off. The second pole, the second to last time, I'm the one that chopped it.
All right.
6 times. Come on, Joey. We were warning him, Joey's getting kind of skinny, you know. And then he's like, oh, well, I can get out of here in time. We said, well, if it does fall, run that way. Get out of there. That big old deck collapsed on him. I was just hoping that he'd be okay. We knew we needed help.
Go get help, go!
Levi's a fast runner, so he went down.
Joseph.
I was trying to get his attention, trying to see if he'd talk to me, but he wouldn't.
Hang in there, buddy.
He was unconscious. I was really scared because I had no one around me, and I didn't know what to do.
When we continue,
Axton, with all the tact of a 10-year-old, said to me, he'll probably live, but he'll never walk again.
Joseph?
When a heavy wooden deck collapsed on top of 10-year-old Joseph Oakes, his friend Levi ran home to get help. Within 5 minutes, he was back with his father, Doug Daly.
The deck was across his chest. It was laying right on top of him. I couldn't stick my hand in there.
Get some blocks, guys.
Oh, no, what happened?
My wife was coming right behind us, and I hollered at her to dial 911.
All right, lift up. You push me.
Okay.
Push me on.
And I kept checking to see if I could slide my hand in between his chest and the porch. And once I could do that, I figured that that's about all I could do.
Boys, run down the end of the road, wait for the ambulance. Go!
Bill and Trish Oakes were just leaving their house when Bill's pager went off.
We were going to pick up my son, but I had to respond for a call of a child trapped under a collapsed building.
Trapped under a collapsed porch.
Gotta go, sweetie.
I'll pick up Joe and meet you back. In a small community like this, every time the fire phone rings and Bill leaves, we wonder, who is it? Is it somebody we know? Is it a family member?
It's probably Joseph.
I said it's probably Joey because I knew he was up there, but it was a joke.
We kind of laughed a little bit about it and went from there.
Chief Dave Murphy was in charge of the Salyer volunteer firefighters who responded.
When I neared Odin Flat, I saw Axton and Levi and realized it had to be Joseph. Axton, with all the tact of a 10-year-old, said to me, "He'll probably live, but he'll never walk again." It was a pretty awful sight.
Joseph?
There was this gurgling wheeze as he tried to breathe with all the blood in his airway, which is a sound I'll never forget.
I'm not gonna leave. Your dad's on the way. He'll be here in a few minutes.
He was using every ounce of life that he had to keep breathing and just to hold on. My greatest fear was that he would die before his father got there.
We went through our normal scenario. Okay, if it's a porch falling on a kid, what could happen? Internal injuries, head injury. I told Billy to stay there. I'd come back and tell him what we needed. It was kind of a shock when Trish told me it was Joseph. Bill was sitting in the truck. I kind of played in my head how was I going to tell him, and there's no way to be nice about it.
It's Joseph.
He was coming over the top of me, trying to get up the hill.
It's just like the bottom fell out of my world. And I just remember walking away from everybody.
It is a first responder's worst nightmare. Joe's my stepson, and as horrible as it was for me, I know it was 100 times worse for his own father.
Hey, Dad, we could use some help here.
Volunteer Joe Reyes was the first EMT on the scene.
I wanted to involve him, but I didn't want to overload him. I thought Joseph needs to hear a voice, a familiar voice, a comforting voice.
Just keep talking to him. Let him hear your voice. I want him to hear a positive sound, okay?
I love you, Joe. I'm gonna get you out.
Both legs were at a strange angle, so I knew he had fractures of the femur. Knew there was a possible back injury because of the way the porch was laying on him, but there's nothing to do until we could get him out.
Here it comes.
Okay, bring it on down.
I definitely suspected a head injury because of the fluids coming out of his ears, his nose.
Okay, work on Joseph. Check it that way.
There he goes.
Joe.
He started.
Okay,
He started. Still have a pulse.
Talk to him.
Me and Axton were praying and all that. And then after that, we prayed some more.
I was just hoping they'd save his life.
Lift fingers.
When we got him down, his blood pressure bottomed out, and we knew we were losing him. I was scared to death that was going to happen right in front of me.
They flew to Mad River Hospital because it was 2 minutes closer than the hospital in Reading, and they knew that he didn't have 2 minutes. It was that close.
At Mad River Community Hospital, Joseph was treated by a team of doctors, including orthopedic surgeon Carl Metten.
Crush injuries are the worst injuries that I see because all the tissues of the body are damaged. Muscles can die. The patient with crush injuries can have multiple organ failure.
Still 100%. We went in and he was in a coma, looking pretty rough around the edges, and I was still scared to death that he wasn't going to make it. You hear me, Joseph?
10-year-old Joseph Oakes underwent surgery for his head and leg injuries and had to go through months of recuperation.
I felt frustrated, like I should know this or I should be walking sooner. I was very surprised when I took my first step without sort of falling or leaning on something.
The community support was just incredible. They set up a fund for Joseph for medical, had prayer sessions, sent food. We put an ad in the paper because there was so many people to thank. It was the only way we could do it. And we said, you know we live in the best place on the earth, because of the people that are here.
Bill was kind of wavering on his involvement in the fire department when this happened. He's committed for life now.
I don't want to tell.
The neighbor lifting the deck off probably bought us some time as far as allowing him to breathe more freely. Those 2 or 3 inches did help us out. Everybody contributed, and to me, they were all heroes.
I didn't really believe that I was a hero because it was mostly my fault.
It was part of my fault. It was everybody's fault. And we shouldn't have been up there in the first place. But we were just little kids.
We're gonna go to, if anything can make you reaffirm your love for a person, it's something like this.
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Being in bed for 3 or 4 months and the surgeries and the wheelchair, it was really difficult for a young kid to handle. But now he's back to good old Joseph. He's doing great.
I would have missed Joseph's sense of humor and his creativity. I think Joe has a long life ahead of him, an exciting one.
Next.
Oh my God.
911 emergency. Oh, this is terrible. I can stop.
How are we doing? Are we about ready to open? Yeah, go ahead. Try to keep an eye on it.
On June 28, 1993, 22-year-old Candace Crossland was the manager on duty at a fast food restaurant in Mesa, Arizona, as they were opening up around 6 a.m. Annette Pfeiffer was also on the early shift that morning.
Candace was so young and vibrant. She worked with kids in gang prevention. She taught Sunday school, and she had all these goals for herself. It was just really weird when it happened.
So your vacation's coming tomorrow, and you're gonna go. Don't let me forget. I'll give you $1, and you can put it on 13 red.
Who's in charge here?
We thought he was the air conditioner repairman. We were waiting for somebody to come to fix it.
Oh my God! He's
Take her where she is now.
Oh no! My God! Candace, we're being robbed.
The only thing he said in front of us again was, "You come on," towards Candace. He had the gun. "You come on," and then he says, "You two stay here."
Can you see anything?
Queen and I were holding hands and praying, and then we started to talk about, God, he won't shoot Candace. He won't shoot Candace. He's just going to take the money and go.
Come on.
Oh my God!
911 emergency. Oh, this is terrible. I can stop. 911. Yes.
Mesa Police Dispatcher Chris Muma was handling the call.
She's been shot. We just got robbed. You just got robbed?
Usually it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a medical call, but not a violent shooting and robbery like that. This one kind of caught me off guard.
Rescue units were immediately dispatched to the scene, including Mesa Fire Department paramedic Kevin Mashu.
You get a lot of the same calls and you don't remember them, but this one was affecting me a little more because I had been in the restaurant business and I had actually been held at gunpoint in a robbery.
She bleeding? Yes, she's really bleeding bad. What you need to do is kind of apply some pressure to it.
It was hard when I saw the blood, He was on the floor, and it was just like a puddle. It was deep, and it was a lot.
We were in the back, and he had a gun on us. Okay, and what did he say? He told us to go into the walk-in and told our supervisor to come out and open the safe. And he told us to stay in the walk-in. We heard a gunshot, and she got shot. Okay, everything's gonna be okay. You're doing real good, all right? They're on their way. They're gonna be there in just a minute. We've got paramedics on the way to help her, okay? She's still conscious and talking to you? Throwing up blood. Okay. Sit down or anything? Yeah, just sit her down against the wall. Okay?
Employee Queena Curtis had taken over the call.
She told me to have her sit down, but Candace didn't want to sit down. She just kept throwing up blood.
And put the towel up to her neck. Press kind of hard to try to stop the bleeding, okay? All right, everything's gonna be okay. Are they almost here? Yes, there's 2 officers there. Paramedics are gonna be there in just a minute, okay? You just need to stay on the phone with me. All right? What's your name, ma'am? My name's Queena. I'm sorry? Queena. Queena? The officers are here. Okay. Are the officers inside with you? Okay, we're here. All right.
He had dark hair.
She's been shot
and brown eyes.
Back of the neck. I was impressed just with the fact that this patient had been shot in the head and was still conscious. And she did have a severe shot. It wasn't like it was a glancing blow. It passed right through her skull.
Looks like we got a bullet lodged in the jaw here. You know where you're at right now, Candace?
Yeah, I'm at work.
The first police officer on the scene was Bon Gonzalez.
Had you ever seen him before, Candace?
I worked with him a year ago.
She knew who he was. They had worked for the same restaurant in the past.
Set up a crime scene log and evidence.
Within like 5 minutes to 10 minutes after this happened, we were sending officers to his past addresses.
120. Keep spitting that blood out, Candace.
It was obvious that she hit a large artery or vein, and I was concerned that her airway was going to be compromised. So what I opted to do was just get her down on the ground on all fours.
Candace's mother, Gloria Crossland, heard about the shooting on her police scanner.
They wouldn't tell me who was shot, so I sneaked around to the front window and found out it was Candace. I mean, I was petrified.
It was horrible, you know, because here's this 20-some-year-old who's doing all these things to better her community and, you know, working a terrible job, making terrible wages, no insurance, no benefits. And something like this happens. This jerk. I think he got, you know, $1,500 or some measly sum like that. You know, what's the point?
I had seen the blood and her on the stretcher. And I thought, oh my God, she was born 6 months after her father died. And it's just one of those things. You're close that way.
22-year-old Candace Crossland was taken by Samaritan Air Evac helicopter to Scottsdale Memorial Hospital and examined by emergency physician Pierre Gilles.
The bullet traversed across to the right side of her neck, close to her windpipe. She was fortunate that the initial effect of the gunshot wound did not kill her.
Okay, that's good.
She was equally fortunate that the swelling effects and the blast effects also did not leave her with any permanent neurologic injury.
Doctors spent hours in surgery repairing her damaged carotid artery. After 4 days, Candace was released from the hospital. More than a year has passed since the shooting.
The bullet is under the fatty tissue, under my chin. And it just sits there, it doesn't move, just sits there. It's kind of hard, feels like a pea.
You're out, give me the ball. You're out, give me the ball.
I'm a little more paranoid, but I still work in prevention, at-risk kids, because I don't think that it's fair to them to take away what they need from me.
She still works at the restaurant, and she's going to college next semester. She wants to be a teacher on the reservation, so she's going on the way it was.
The suspect was subsequently convicted of armed robbery and attempted second-degree murder and sentenced to 29 years in prison.
If he's in his late 50s, by the time he gets out, that's justice for me, because I'll be in my late 50s too, and hopefully a little bit forget about this by the time I'm 50. I asked her, you want to come and help me put wallpaper? Yeah, she goes, no, I get my house in 2 weeks.
If she hadn't made it through this ordeal, I'd have been devastated. They'd have probably taken me to Arizona State Hospital.
If it hadn't been for 911, she would have died, because they were there that quick. They saved her, they put her on a helicopter, they took her where she needed to go, and it was still touchy after that, but she made it, because it was Candace. The fact that she had the strength to go and call 911 herself, this hole in her neck, bullet in her face, was just unreal to me. Definitely a hero, definitely, without a doubt.
Step out of the car, please.